I think it's finally time that I build the rentable rehearsal space and start making some money off this building, like I should have done a year ago. Whoops. Let's do it. Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and welcome to Belligerent Studios, sorta. What I do here is I take all sorts of awesome, high-gain related guitar equipment, I record it with a simple setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. But today, we've got a big old project to tackle because about a year ago, I leased a building to move all of my ridiculous gear collection and my YouTube studio into so I could get it out of my house and have a dedicated workspace. But the building that I leased actually had a significant amount of extra room in it. So I started brainstorming ways that I could use that room to not only try to make some of the money back on the building every month, but to also help out my local music community here in Erie, Pennsylvania. And one of the ideas that I came up with and I was most excited about was building a fully furnished, rentable studio rehearsal room, complete with a PA system, with a demo recording setup, with drums, with guitar amps and cabinets, with bass amps and cabinets, and even some cheap guitars to kick around just in case. I don't know, you're a moron and you forget to bring your guitar to guitar practice? Who's ever done that before? Anyways, it's been a year since I took over this building, and this is the room where the rehearsal space is. As you can see, I haven't got much done in here, so I keep putting this off because I keep making grand plans for the room. I'm going to completely repaint it. I want to lay down carpet, blah, blah, blah. And I've just come to realize that the bigger of a task that I make this room, the longer I'm going to continue to put it off because I'm going to have to try to get all those things in place. And being that I'm already a third of the way through my building's lease, I figured, you know what? With the way that the room is right now, I can definitely make it into something that's more than cool enough. People aren't going to care about the color of the walls so much as they're going to care about having an affordable practice space that they don't have to bring their gear in and out of every time that they want to rent it. So today we are finally gonna tackle this job. I'm gonna clear out all the clutter that is in this room, and I'm gonna start hanging up some sound treatment because as you can hear, it's quite a lot of echo and reverberations are not nice on your ears with loud instruments. So we're gonna try to fix that. And after we have done those two things, it's time to start setting up the equipment in this room. And I have to thank the channel sponsor and the video sponsor for today's video, Sweetwater, because Sweetwater provided a whole bunch of incredible gear for me to set up in this room for bands, local bands, to be able to utilize when they rent the room out. So as we are going through the process of setting this room up, I will outline all the things that Sweetwater sent out. And if you guys see anything that you could utilize in your own rehearsal room, in your own home studio, or just for your pleasures, I will make sure to drop the affiliate link for Sweetwater down below in the description and the comments of this video, as well as the links to the items that they have provided. Couldn't have done this without their help, and I very much appreciate the support of the best company in the business as far as I'm concerned. So with all that said, let's get to it.
All right, so now that I finally got my button gear, the first thing that I needed to do was clean out
Hey, check out this sick trick.
this room because it had essentially been turned into a storage facility. Huge shout to Gravit Stands because not only are they a channel partner, but they also provided some sick gear later in the video. The previous tenant left in a hurry and never cleaned anything up, so now I have to tear all the old crap off the walls in order to put up our sound treatment.
All right guys, so as you can see, the room is now empty. I am ready to kind of start getting the carpets laid down and to get some stuff up on the walls to kill this echo. Real quick, just want to do a sound test. This is before we do any sort of treatment whatsoever. Hello! Hello! There's a lot of reflections in this room, so yeah, hopefully putting up some of the sound treatment will help. It's definitely not professional stuff, but it's basically just to kind of kill some of the reflections in the high end. So, let's lay some carpets down.
So the purpose of laying these carpets down is 100% noise or sound treatment because the tile floors in this room are extremely hard, extremely reflective. So I bought these cheap Amazon carpet like area rugs. I think they were like $12 a piece. But yeah, the challenge with these was securing them to the floor because they did not want to stick using the rubber bottom. So I ended up using some double-sided tape in order to attach them to the floor and keep them secure. That way the drums aren't moving around and the carpets aren't moving around under your feet. DIY till I die, baby. Next up, it is time to start hanging some of our sound treatments. So I was using my ladder along with a laser level, sitting on a box, trying to find the right level to put these up at. And this definitely took some trial and error, and it's still not perfect. And towards the end, I just ended up not even using the level because I found out the method that I was using was, wrong. So I went ahead and had a shot of caffeine, harnessed my ADD to the best of my ability, and got it done. All right, still works. Now this is the part of the whole process that made me want to stick my head in an oven and roast myself to death slowly, because that would have been more enjoyable than trying to peel the little backing pieces off of this double-sided tape. For whatever reason, they didn't want to come off. So what should have taken a couple minutes ended up taking me like a half an hour just to be able to get the backings off to hang these stupid things. There is a special place in hell for whoever designed this double-sided tape packaging. With the carpets down and the sound treatment up, it is time to start getting into some of the gear. So this is where we get into the first piece of gear that Sweetwater provided for this practice space, and that is the Gator Content Creator main desk. I gotta say, man, the quality of this desk kind of blew me away. But if you are just a content creator or you need a simple desk with a couple of rack spaces and extremely solid construction, this baby is more than enough. Zoom, what is this? 2001?
What is this color?
Now that the desk was up, I was ready to start putting together the demo rig for the practice spot, which brings me to the next piece of gear that Sweetwater provided, and honestly, by far and away the coolest piece of gear in this entire video. The Zoom L12 digital mixer / recording interface. Now that we got the Gator desk in place with the Zoom L12 mixer, it was time to start focusing on the gear that I was providing for the room.
Well, I'm an idiot again and forgot to grab the camera, so we're basically all set up here. I'm really good at my job, but yeah, dude.
Let's break this baby in.
All right, guys, so I am standing in the middle of my venue, and after about a few days of work, just night and day trying to get this thing ready, it's finally ready. And I'm honestly super psyched at how it turned out. So it's time for the big reveal. All right, guys, so you probably just saw some sort of montage of me putting this all together, and everything is actually set up and ready to use. This room has actually already been used, and we'll get to that at the end of the video. But yeah, now that all that is done, it is time to finally give you guys a walkthrough of everything. I think it turned out great, man. I actually think that this turned out much, much better than I was expecting to. And as you guys will get to see in a minute and hear in the videos, the sound in here is way, way better than I was expecting, especially considering, I mean, these are, you know, 2-inch foam. Like, this is just
that crappy acoustic foam that you get on Amazon. I bought it just to absorb some of the high-end frequencies because this room was very harsh before it was treated with anything. So that, along with some of the diffusion panels and stuff like that, again, all of this is just Amazon stuff that I had kind of bought over the years and used in different rooms of my house and pulled most of it out when I was finally ready to come here and set it all up. Let's get into the gear. Let's start with the PA system, because the PA system actually, again, turned out much better than I thought it was going to. So the main piece of this whole setup is this Zoom L12 digital mixer. This is a digital mixer, and it also has the ability to double as a 12-channel recording interface. So not only can you use this to set up the PA, and you get the ability to add effects to each individual channel, you get the ability to EQ each individual channel, to recall it on the resets here. You can program your presets. So if you are a band that rents this space out often, you can save one of your presets to one of these numbers, come in, boop, give it the little boop, little nipple twist there. And just like that, all of your settings are recalled. I think that's a super, super cool feature, man. This mixer actually has an insane amount of stuff packed into it for the price. So yeah, obviously we've got all our faders, our channel selects, but we also have the ability to arm each individual track if you want to record this using an SD card. Because you can actually, if you don't have a computer to hook up to this mixer, you can actually record everything to an SD card in the back of the mixer. So you don't even need this setup here that I've put together, but I wanted people to have the option to do either or. So I am actually thinking about getting the slightly larger version of this mixer for my live mobile gigs, because I actually do live sound for bands here in town, and having the, I believe it's a 20-channel version of this would be an incredible tool to be able to record the band sets and offer them video sets and everything. I'm getting out on a rant. I'm really impressed by the Zoom L12 mixer. Really, really impressed, and I think this is a really, really cool piece of gear. So shout out to Sweetwater for providing this, because this is the main thing that I really needed to tie all this room together that I didn't have. So yeah, to round out the PA setup over here, we've got a couple of Mackie Thump 12-inch monitors. I gotta say, man, for the price that I paid for these things, because I bought these out of my own pocket, these Mackie monitors are honestly impressive. Like, I have some high-end powered mains in the venue portion of my building, and obviously those are amazing, but I mean, these ones, like, for the price, they absolutely do the job. I was able to ring out the PA just a little bit so that we could get this thing cranking for vocals in this room without it feeding back. So this will be more than enough as far as volume in this small room. Real quick, going back to the mixer and the recording desk, obviously I have a separate monitor here. I've got an M2 Mac Mini that I bought off of Sweetwater a while ago because it was a open box model. If you guys didn't know, Sweetwater carries all sorts of Mac stuff. So if you're looking at getting into recording, you can even get your computer there now. They have you stocked for everything that you need. But I also wanted to send a shout out to my friends over at Presonus, because they sent me a pair of these Aris 3.5 Bluetooth studio monitors. So not only can you hook them up to your recording interface or to your mixer or directly to your Mac like I have them hooked up right now, but these also have the built-in Bluetooth. So if people want to come in and they're trying to learn a song or they're trying to play something through their phone for the rest of the band, they can just hook right up to the Bluetooth on these Aris monitors and pump it through the speakers. These are incredibly affordable. They honestly sound great for their price range, and it's pretty great in general. And I'm excited to be able to offer them to people who want to use the spot. So huge shout out to Presonus. Thank you. All right, so since we are kind of on the PA and the sound in the room, let's move over to the microphones. I really have to send a massive, massive shout out to my friends at SE Electronics, because they have been a huge help and a huge partner in this whole process, and they have provided a bunch of microphones for the venue, for the recording studio, and now for this. Because here, check, we have a pair of the V7 dynamic vocal microphones. Now, if you've watched my channel over the past 2 years, I actually use the V7 on guitar amps quite a bit, because I actually think it sounds really, really good as a guitar speaker cab microphone, much like you would use an SM57 or something. But these are also excellent vocal mics. They're actually, in my opinion, a little bit better for the small spaces, because these are hypercardioid, which means they reject more sound off axis, and therefore feedback does not become an issue as quickly as it does with regular cardioid microphones. But yeah, on top of that, they sound great. They have next to no handling noise. They're just a really, really good microphone, especially if you slap it and do all this stuff that I was just doing to it. So huge shout out to SE Electronics for those, but also shout out to them because I have a pair of V7X instrument microphones on the guitar cabinets in here. So the V7X is a slightly modified version of the V7, and they are more or less meant to be used with instruments or with guitar cabs like this case. I love these microphones on snare, so these are an awesome addition to be able to actually mic up the guitar cabinet here in the studio for that demo tracking that I was talking about. So yeah, shout out SE Electronics. On top of this, we have, and speaking of the microphones, what is holding them up in here is another channel partner that I am more fortunate than I deserve, I feel, to be in contact with or to be in business with, and that is Gravit Stands. These are their like cab grabber models, and these things are actually really solid. Like they actually grab the cab and they stay put. So I really, really dig those, but also on top of that, we've got their touring series microphone stands here, and everybody that moves or tries to move these mic stands is like, what is in the base of these? They feel like they're loaded with lead, and that's because they are. So I'm super, super thankful that Gravit was able to provide some super high quality stands for the people who will be using this practice spot again. So yeah, huge shout out Gravit, SE Electronics, Sweetwater. We're not done. We got some more stuff to go over. I got some more shilling to do. Let's go over here. So as you guys saw, there were a couple of guitar cabinets and a couple of amplifiers in here, and the guitar cabs are both 16 ohm V30 loaded cabinets. So we've got a nice Ampeg from the 90s here loaded with V30s, and over there we've got that Randall XL cab loaded with V30s, and these are both Blackstar HT100 amplifiers. I bought both of these used, and I got both of them for just under 300 bucks a piece, which is just an insane deal on a tube amplifier, on a 100-watt tube amplifier. They have a lot of features and a lot of stuff going on, so anybody who comes in here and doesn't have an amplifier to bring with them, well, you're gonna have clean, you're gonna have two different voices on a crunch channel, two different voices on a high gain channel. You've got built-in reverb, so I mean, this thing is gonna do pretty much anything that you're gonna need it to do within reason. And then over here, this is just another setup that I've kind of had just sitting around for years, and that is the Ampeg B2R. It's actually missing a couple of knobs, but also we've got an Ampeg fridge cab here. I actually owe my buddy Sean Barr some money for this, and I haven't paid him yet. I just realized that. He was the bassist in Bushido Code, and he left this cab behind, and he asked me if I wanted to buy it, and I said sure, and then I stole it like a bandit. Last but not least, the drum kit. So, funny story, guys. I don't know if you guys really remember, but I had a little bit of a drum channel for a minute. I probably posted like 5 videos. I actually did pretty well, but one of the last videos that I did before kind of giving up on that channel just because I didn't have the time to keep up with it, I drove down to Pittsburgh and I actually bought this drum kit for 700 bucks, but I got a full set of hardware, cymbals, I got a couple extra things with it, and I actually just sold all the extra stuff except for the shells, and I ended up with having these shells for nothing. I paid $0, and these are the PDP X7 all maple shell. These are actually the predecessor to the PDP Concept Maple, which PDP still makes. These are an amazing sounding drum kit for the money, guys. You can buy these used all day for 500 bucks. Plus it came with just a ridiculous amount of toms. So all you no talent drummers out there like me can feel good about yourselves as you're doing your 15th around the world fill of this song. And then yeah, I've just got kind of like a ragtag group of hardware here, and that's actually something I would like to beef up a little bit. I'd like to get some more stands in here just in case, because as you guys can see, we're making do with what we got because I just did not have as many extra stands as I thought. So I'm really gonna want to grab some hardware here in the near future, but for now, it seems like we got what we need. But the coolest part about this whole setup is I've got the Yamaha EAD10 on here. I actually asked Sweetwater to send this bad boy out to me with the Zoom L12 live track mixer, because what this is a two capsule stereo condenser microphone that clips onto your bass drum, and then you send the cables over into this, and this is literally like a brain module like you would have for an electronic drum set, but it processes your acoustic drum kit sounds. And it actually sounds amazing, and if you follow any drummers on like Instagram or TikTok or anything, chances are they're probably using one of these bad boys in their videos, because it is super easy to get great sounding drums out of this thing with like little to no work at all. So when I was putting together this little recording setup, I was like, dude, I need an EAD10 because that's gonna make it just ridiculously brain dead simple in order to plug into that thing and to get good sounding drums, because these will give you a nice compressed processed drum sound. You can add room reverb and some other stuff, and it really is just an amazing tool. Like, there's a reason these things are insanely popular, and that's because they work super well. So yeah, huge shout out again to Sweetwater for providing this thing for me. This is gonna be huge for the people who wanna come in here and track their demos. I'm now going to leave you with a clip of my band Human Animal practicing in this room using that Zoom L12 mixer, the Yamaha EAD10, all of the SE electronic mics. Huge thank you to you guys, the audience, for following me and supporting me and basically allowing this to come to life, because I would not be able to do this without you guys. I wouldn't be able to work with companies like SE and Gravity and Sweetwater. Sometimes it's still crazy to me that I get to work with Sweetwater. Like, that's super cool. But I wouldn't be able to work with those companies if you guys weren't watching the channel. And for that, I am seriously forever grateful to you guys. Thank you so much for the supporting the channel, because in turn, I kind of get to pay it forward, and I get to provide a really cool spot for local bands to be able to play and track their demos and stuff at an extremely affordable rate. This is something that Erie, Pennsylvania doesn't have, and I'm thrilled to be able to provide that to the local music community. So huge shout out to Sweetwater. Again, if you guys saw anything in this video that you want to pick up for yourself, because those SE Electronics microphones, the Mackie monitors, unfortunately they don't carry Gravity, but all of the other stuff, even the Mac Mini, I'll even link that bad boy down below so you guys can head over to Sweetwater and check it out. That'll be an affiliate link. So if you guys use any of those affiliate links when you're buying new gear, costs you guys nothing extra, and I do get a little kickback out of it that I can use to put into this room to continuously make it better for the bands who get to use it. So yeah, here is that clip of Human Animal practicing in this room. I really hope that you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Bye.
Your time, this sport throughout the world.